What's up, guys? What's going on? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I wanted to take a minute and share with you guys a pretty wild story that happened to us last week while we were hunting archery deer in Arizona. So if you guys want to see the hunt video, we were successful in getting a coos buck on the ground with archery tackle. My little brother Rocky killed one. If you want to see that video, it's going to be linked in the description of this video. It's the last one I posted, so go check that out. So the next day after Rocky killed his buck, we got back to our glassing point. We were just glassing down below. There was some mule deer below us. We'd seen a couple coos deer. And when we got there was someone on our glassing point that we were in the day prior. So we just drove a little bit further up the road, found a different spot. We were glassing, they were glassing, and kind of glassing the same general area as them. And about 8 or so in the morning, maybe 9, after kind of the peak time of the morning had passed, we noticed a Toyota pickup truck that was driving across the flat. Not uncommon, you know, roads are open. We didn't think too much of it. So at the time there was a rifle coos deer hunt that was going in this unit, and then also archery coos deer hunts, but there were no mule deer hunts open. Anyway, we watched these guys. They drive down by the pond, and then all of a sudden a bunch of mule deer run across the road in front of them, and the last one is a pretty decent buck, small 3-point, and I think it was Rocky says, "Those guys are getting guns out. It looks like they're going to shoot at those deer." And I thought, that's weird. Maybe there's a late rifle mule deer hunt that we don't know about in this area. You know, there could be something we don't know. But we start to kind of watch them, and Rocky's like, "Oh yeah, they're going to shoot." Boom! We hear them shoot, and then we see that mule deer buck kind of stop and get wobbly. Boom! They shoot again. He falls down. They get out of the truck, walk over towards him, and then I thought, man, this seems a little bit fishy, seems a little bit sketchy. So I called my buddy Ben Sandel. Ben lives in Arizona. He's an Arizona resident. He knows the seasons and everything really well. And I called him and I said, "Hey man, is there a mule deer hunt open right now in this unit?" He says, "Absolutely not. There's no mule deer hunts anywhere open this time in the state other than like the Kaibab unit." So we were like, okay, I guess we better call it in. He said, "Yeah, start filming." So we grabbed the OLLIN adapter. We threw it on the spotting scope, and we're able to get footage of these guys taking the follow-up shot on this buck, finishing it off.
There's another shot. Yep.
And then we also got video of them posing with the deer with their bows, which really still wouldn't have made it legal because mule deer hunting was totally closed in that unit. I immediately got on the phone with Operation Game Thief in Arizona. The lady that I talked to was very well versed, very well informed. She knew the area that we were talking about, and she was very, very quick to jump on it. I sent her a pin to where this had all happened, a pin to where we were glassing from, a pin to where the people were that poached the buck, where they were parked, and she said, "We're going to get officers there as soon as we can." About that time, the guy down the ridge from us, who was in the glassing spot where we were, came up the hill and said, "Hey, did you guys just see what I see? Somebody just poached a mule deer." We said, "Yeah, we saw it. We're on the phone with Operation Game Thief." He said, "Oh, my friend's on the phone with them as well." And the person that was with him called Operation Game Thief as well, provided them with the same GPS coordinates. And so within a matter of, before they even got to the deer, we were on the phone with Operation Game Thief. And so then it was just kind of a waiting game. I kept getting text updates from the lady with Operation Game Thief, and they kept saying officers are kind of have an extended ETA, but we're going to get them there as soon as we can. And in the meantime, these guys are just taking their time. They're skinning this whole deer on the ground. They took a bunch of photos, a bunch of videos. They skin the whole thing on the ground. They quarter it. They take the head, everything, and they load it up in the back of the truck. So as soon as they got in the truck and started to leave, I texted again the lady and I said, "Hey, they're about to leave. They're pulling out onto Forest Service Road." I think it's whatever the number was. Told them where they were turning and which way they were headed. And she texted me back and said, "We have officers within a mile." So they're right there. And about that time, the guy who had come up from the other glassing point, who we'd been talking through this whole thing with, he ran down to see if he could grab a license plate off of them before they drove away. And about the time he got to where they were, he was coming down off the glassing point driving. They were coming here, and the Forest Service officer and Fish and Wildlife officer pulled up and were able to bust these guys, and they caught them. They had no tags at all. I think maybe one of the guy with the bow might have had an OTC archery tag, but the rifle guys had 0 tags. We thought that they had maybe mistaken the mule deer for a coos deer, or maybe that would be their excuse. But at the end of the day, the guys with the rifles had no tags. They were from Phoenix, and apparently had just driven there to poach deer, brought their rifles, and that was their intent, was to come up and shoot deer. And they claimed that it was for meat. They said, oh, we just needed some meat, we didn't want to pay for meat. But that's obviously a lie, because why would you shoot the buck out of the herd, you know, when they had seen multiple does? I'm sure they'd seen multiple cow elk. It wasn't just a meat thing. They wanted to go shoot a buck. And then the other guy wanted to take pictures of it with his bow so he could tell people that he got it with his bow. So it's amazing to me that this day and age, people still do this stuff. They still go out and just shoot deer knowing that everybody around them has optics, has stuff like the OLLIN adapter that they can film this. Everybody has a camera in their pocket. Like, it's amazing they think they can get away with this during an open hunting season. So these guys were just blatant about it, and I was super glad that they got caught. We asked the lady, she said, I don't think that they're gonna fight it, but we provided her, the lady officer and the Forest Service guy there, with all the information that we had, all the video, all the proof that they need to just absolutely slam these guys. And they also basically admitted to it, so I don't think they're going to be fighting it. We asked her what that's going to look like for them, and she said due to the very obvious open shut case against them, they're probably going to lose the truck that was used to transport, the firearms that were used, and then because the evidence we provided where there was more than one person that was involved, those people will face some type of charges as well. So it's not going to go well for them. The deer that they shot was like a 22-inch 3-point. It wouldn't be anything that was considered, you know, trophy class, but they still took that animal away from legal sportsmen. And that's the frustration with poachers. People that go outside of the law, they don't obey the rule, and they steal opportunities from people who are trying to do it right. So I'm glad that we were able to see it, take the time, and I'm glad that there was a system in place so that we could get these guys caught and get them taken care of quickly. Big props to Arizona Game and Fish and the Forest Service for getting there quick, for nailing those guys. And yeah, that's the story of how we busted some poachers in Arizona. So just wanted to share that with you guys and remind you, turn people in. If you see something that's going on, call them in. I traditionally have not been somebody who errs on the side of law enforcement needs to know everything. Like, honestly, I'm not a fan of the government personally. But in this instances, this really is how we protect future opportunities for ourselves and for other hunters. So if you see something, say something. And also, if you're out there pulling this kind of stuff, you're going to get filmed, you're going to get caught. Knock it off. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this little video. I just wanted to put it together and kind of share the story with you. And yeah, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.